Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says her Green New Deal will save the planet.
Climate change and our environmental challenges are one of the biggest existential threats to our way of life, not just as a nation, but as a world. And in order for us to combat that threat, we must be as ambitious and innovative in our solution as possible.
The left's Green New Deal is set to include 100% clean and renewable energy. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez explains her plan. Listen to this.
Today is also the day that we choose to assert ourselves as a global leader in transitioning to 100% renewable energy and charting that path. We are going to transition this country into the future, and we are not going to be dragged behind by our past.
How much will this cost? That's unclear. How will we pay for it? Unknown.
This is an investment. You know, for every $1 that we spend on infrastructure, we get a return on that investment. For every $1 that we spend on tax cuts, we get less than $1 back.
They say that every building in the United States should be upgraded for better energy efficiency over the next 10 years. So it's a set of goals. It's a non-binding resolution.
Just to put that in perspective, because it's not realistic, that would mean that between 2,000 and 3,000 buildings a day would have to be reconstructed.
It seemed a little ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as the idea that we're going to build enough light rail to make airplanes unnecessary.
What is the problem with trying to push our technological capacities to the furthest extent possible?
Apparently it's being misunderstood, right? We're really talking about expanding optionality here. We're not talking about getting rid of anything, right? We're talking about basically making it cost effective to move into more modern forms of technology, more modern forms of production, which would then enable people actually cost effectively to transition to that stuff. We're talking about requiring anything or prohibiting anything.
Yesterday, there was a report that we just had the 5 hottest years in the recorded history of the planet. And so I think people are concerned. Remember, this is a resolution. This is not even a piece of legislation.
So it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
We're talking about carbon neutrality. Remember, we're talking about net zero emissions. That doesn't mean that there's never any burning of anything, right?
Zero carbon emissions, no use of fossil fuels within 12 years.
That is the goal. It's ambitious. And
how is that possible? You're talking about everybody having to drive an electric car.
So I've got 2 gasoline-powered cars at home.
But imagine how much better it's going to be when it's cost-effective to drive electric cars. But that can't be done simply by individuals, right? You have to coordinate. You have to have charging stations everywhere. And of course, individuals can't do that, right? So in that sense, the government is acting like a kind of orchestra conductor here.
What planet is this person on? What about capitalism? What about striving? I mean, why do I want one dream? Why do I want one path? What country, what society has ever provided all these things? Why is that even a goal?
all great American programs, everything from the Great Society to the New Deal, started with a vision for our future. So what we are doing today and in introducing these resolutions here today is that it's not a bill, it is a resolution. And what this resolution is doing is saying this is our first step. Our first step is to define the problem and define the scope of the solution.